1 week ago, a client came to me and he had one simple but big problem. This problem was he was anxious about the next month, what was coming up inside of his info business. And to be clear, he already had clients, he already had revenue. That wasn't exactly the problem. The problem was he was lacking predictability. And I asked him, why do you think people buy from you? He couldn't give me an answer to that question. And you should ask yourself that exact question right now. See, you're asking the people around you, your business partners, your family, you're looking at the comments and at the views and everything else. But you're missing out on the most important data and the most important feedback there is inside of your business. And you're sitting on it for months, not using it. You should ask the people who move down your complete funnel successfully, the ones who know exactly which content works best, which testimonial they watch just before the sales call, and every other tiny detail that was necessary for the conversion process. Those people are your already existing clients. They could tell you instantly why they paid you money instead of someone else. And it sounds simple, but you really need to think about it. Your info business depends on those people and the why. So you need to ask for the why to get the answers that you can leverage then in the future to guarantee you and give you the predictability to scale. So we implemented a client onboarding form. This is a structured set of questions, and every question pulls a different piece of data you need to leverage. But before we start, I built this tool out to extract all the data, put it together with a Claude tool which analyzes you the data and gives you a blueprint with the exact steps you need to take next week, next month, for you to create the predictability and scale you need. So what your job is, first, to understand every question in detail. Second, after the video, you go down the video description and you take this tool for free. Start implementing it for yourself. And third step, finally start using the most important data inside of your whole info business. So, what's your name is the first question, simply for the identification, it's clear. Second, what was the very first touch point where you discovered me? See, we're starting at the very top of your funnel, at the starting point of the journey of your clients. And because that's the point that lies the furthest in the past, you give those options for answers. YouTube, Instagram, content, could be anything. Because you want to help them remember, for you to get an exact answer. Next question. If that wasn't the reason you decided to explore further, what actually sparked your interest in me for the first time? So if your clients saw your face in the past and they decided not to interact with you, conscious or subconscious, there must be a specific reason why that changed in that moment for the first time. And you want to know that reason. We're moving down the funnel. How much time passed from the first touch point until you were interested in working one-on-one with me? You ask for the exact time span it took from seeing you for the first time until wanting to work with you. And this is the most important part. Independent of external circumstances like finances. Just the confidence that I could help you in one-on-one or in group consulting, just whatever your service is. This is important because they may know your offer and they simply didn't have the financial capability at the moment. But inside their head, they already made a decision. If I could work with them right now, I would. And that's the important part. Next one. What played the biggest role in conversion for you? Again, you give options to help them remember, but you always want to give those boxes where they can think and type in their own answer. If you put there little check boxes with 4 options, they could choose only the option which lies the closest to the actual answer. Sure, it would be fast and easier for them to answer, but fast and easy kills the whole purpose of this form. Because it's not a part of your funnel where low friction is needed. You send this form to every onboarded client. They already passed your funnel. They paid you money. They're in your program now. It's done. It's about precision now. Because the more precise your answers are, the more precise you can act on it. Next one. What pushed you over the line to make you a buyer? So now we are already pretty far down in the funnel. And you ask for a tiny detail that was needed, which pushed them over the line to finally buy from you, to finally pay you and join your program. This could be a specific content piece, a testimonial in the post-booking material, or a targeted pain point, or again, anything else. You want to ask for the tiny details, because what pushed them over the line is 100% just a tiny detail that was missing until now. 7, and this is genius, because you ask, if you go one layer deeper, what shifted in you personally that made you feel ready to invest? So this is what happened outside. This question is the same question, but you ask what happened internally inside of them. So emotional triggers, identity, confidence, trust. What happened inside of them? What was the feeling or the thought that finally pushed them to take that step? Now to the smartest question in the whole entire onboarding form. What was your biggest hesitation before joining? You ask for the opposite, and what that does is it creates two answers. First, you now know what almost lost you this client. And second, the part you didn't even think of, it shows you what most probably lost you similar clients in the past. So similar persons, similar financial capabilities, similar niches, they just decided a little different because of this tiny detail and ended up not buying. So you ask for, what lost me money in the past? Just like that, you can't ask this question because your clients can't answer you on that. What lost them money in the past? I don't know. They have to guess. You shift the question and you ask for, what was your biggest hesitation before joining? And now they can look into themselves and give you the exact reason, and also the exact reason why similar ones ended up not buying. In the next one, you ask for the confidence right before the call that they sign up on a scale from 1 to 10. And again, you use this information differently. You ask for the confidence score, but in reality, this score shows you how good of a job you did with pre-selling your service until now, until the point just before the sales call. Everything that's missing from this number to 10 is the job you or your closer had to do in the sales call. Clearly, you want to get this number as close to the 10 as possible, and therefore you leverage what made them extremely sure and you remove what made them unsure. If everybody said 10, they would close in the DMs. No sales call at all. In question 10, you want to ask them why they chose to work with you specifically instead of someone else. You want to know the tiny details, specific things in content, persona, communication. Those tiny details, trust me on that, made the difference in the end. They lift you up from your competitors, are not as easy to replicate for anyone else, and are your leverage in the marketing. I'm not the only one in the info game, but if you choose to work with me, you have your specific reasons to do that. I want to know that reason to leverage it in my marketing. Second last question is, what could I have done to make you join even earlier? See, it's not always about pure volume, going viral, more followers, adding more people to the funnel. Everybody always says money loves speed, and you know that too. Now imagine you could speed up the process of conversion for everyone in your funnel. The newest follower you got, your warm YouTube viewers, and the hot leads who have a sales call tomorrow. You speed up the conversion process for every single one of them from 1% per day to 2% per day. Think of the change it would cause to your monthly income. And even more important than that, think of every person who doesn't know you yet, but will join your funnel at some point in the future. They will convert now at 2% per day. So you keep optimizing to shorten that conversion time constantly. Last thing. Anything else you want to share to help me improve? See, after 11 questions, or after 10 questions to be exact, there's usually not much left in the tank. But sometimes there is. And you want to know everything. So just leave the door open for some bonus value. That's the whole onboarding form I built out for my client. And as I said, I packed it together with a Claude tool that analyzes every question in detail and gives you the step-by-step blueprint. So you can take it now in the video description, implement it for yourself, and then create this feedback loop. Collect the data from your existing clients, analyze the data with AI, optimize what needs to be optimized, and because of that, collect new clients, and every client that comes in and gets onboarded needs to get access to this form in the first 24 hours after onboarding, because Then all the information is still fresh and you can get the most out of every answer. See, this is the complete feedback loop. And this is exactly what I do with every info business I work with. So now I need to create proof on this profile. So I created a win-win opportunity. I handpicked 2 info businesses I work with for free. You can go down in the video description, and after you took this tool and implemented it for yourself, you can apply via my Calendly link for my offer. Book in a call and we see if you're a good fit. Now you know what to do.